Daredevil Born Again is coming. We've been talking a lot about it lately as the trailer's been rolling out. The showrunner said some things that have made me a little bit nervous. But he started to address something. How are we going to handle this Daredevil now that it's the Daredevil from the Netflix series? Because you remember when they first started shooting Daredevil, this new Daredevil Born Again, it was not the same Daredevil from the Netflix series. It was going to be a new Daredevil that just happened to be played by Charlie Cox. But then Kevin Feige got his authority back, decided he didn't like what they were shooting, went back to the drawing board, reshot most of the show, and now it is the same Daredevil from the Netflix series. So the question is, what do we do with Daredevil's appearances in other MCU stuff that has happened so far? Like in No Way Home, and in particular, She-Hulk, where he walked away with some interesting looking threads. I actually liked his outfits in She-Hulk, but whatever. To address how they're going to handle Daredevil's continuity and canon in the wider MCU now, this is what the showrunner had to say. Marvel has a master plan, and what you're doing causes ripple effects. I would pitch stuff very early, and I would hear that they had other plans. I have plenty of leeway up until I hit larger scale plans for the MCU. So I try to ignore some stuff from the wider universe. We establish a very specific Daredevil, both in terms of his dilemma, down to the suit, and where we're picking him up in his life. You can say that Daredevil is canon in the MCU. Those other events in Spider-Man No Way Home and She-Hulk, they happened. But some of them we're not leaning into. Then he gets specific. His one-night stand with She-Hulk may be one of those things.
Oh, they're going to ghost She-Hulk?
They're going to ghost She-Hulk?
Oh, Jen deserves better.
She got ghosted.
That's not wise, man. Listen, I'll tell you what. Everybody knows I was very disappointed in the She-Hulk show. I had such high hopes for that show. Not that it didn't have its moments, but one of the best things about the She-Hulk show, other than Wong, was Daredevil's appearance in it. I don't care. Listen, I'm with most of you guys. I didn't like the She-Hulk show, okay? But I really did like the chemistry between Matt and Jen. And I thought it was delightful, which led to one of the funniest moments ever in the history of the MCU with Daredevil doing the walk of shame. I don't care what anybody says. That's one of the greatest moments in television history and always will be. I laughed my ass off so hard at that. But I really did like their chemistry. And I was kind of hoping, I admit, that at some point in the Daredevil series, maybe he's like, I need somebody's advice on me just getting on a phone call with Jen, or Jen popping in for something. Now, I knew you couldn't have Jen like literally show up and have a role to play in that show, because what's anybody in the Daredevil show gonna do against She-Hulk? Muse, cute. Ping, Kingpin, adorable. Ping, like you can't really have her in there any more than you can have Sentry show up in there. I get that. But I was kind of hoping to see just a little bit of that, because it was one of the only redeeming things about the She-Hulk show. Also, I wonder if this means they're not going to talk about the Spider-Man interaction and stuff like that. Like they're saying it did happen. It's canon. We're just not really going to lean into the things that touch on the wider MCU. Rob, I kind of have mixed feelings about this, because on the one hand, the only redeeming thing about She-Hulk was his interaction with Jen and stuff, and I thought that was adorable and cute. Hear a little bit of Spider-Man stuff. But on the other hand, is this maybe good news? Because the original Daredevil series was very isolated, and maybe he now just gets, instead of worrying about the wider universe, he gets to just focus on Daredevil and his immediate characters. How do you interpret this? Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Kikoff. January always feels like recovery mode, doesn't it? I mean, after all the holiday fun and, let's be honest, all the holiday spending, it can feel like a credit hangover. But don't worry, I've got the perfect solution to help you bounce back in 2025. Kikoff, the #1 credit building app in the App Store. Kikoff is a total game changer if you're looking to start building or improving your credit. Their plans? They start at just $5 a month. No credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest. Everybody's been there, guys. Trying to navigate credit can feel like a maze, but Kikoff makes it easy. You can sign up in minutes on your phone and be instantly set up with a credit line designed specifically for building credit, not for spending. And here's a fun fact. If your credit's under 600, you could jump around 28 points in your first month. It's that simple. Shake off the credit hangover and look forward to brighter credit with Kikoff. Get your first month for just $1 at getkikoff.com/Campea today. That's getkikoff, KIKOFF.com/Campea. Must sign up via kikoff.com/Campea to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only. Subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Points out based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0 changes for Kikoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside of Kikoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary.
Well, the first word that comes to mind is ninjas. That means ninjas.
Always
come
the first
back.
word that comes to
And
mind.
You know that there's nothing in the world that isn't made better with the application of ninjas. You know what, though? Here's the thing. I think now that we know, I mean, Daredevil's a guy that works in and around the city. The crime that he deals with is crime that the Avengers don't deal with.
Right.
And also he works as a lawyer. He's a working lawyer in the world. So I think that what you're dealing with is like the Avengers can't save every aspect of humanity. And that's what Daredevil does. That's what Batman does, until he gets pulled into larger events. And I kind of like that because criminals are always at scale. You can have large international terrorists, which I'm sure that Daredevil could help out with, but on his day-to-day, he's going to be dealing with Wilson Fisk. He's going to be dealing with people that are trying to game the system. He's going to be dealing with people that rob banks or rip people off or are doing stuff with ninjas. Whatever he's doing, it's in his world. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm willing to bet that there's going to be some reference to Spider-Man, and they will it'll probably be subtle. I bet there's going to be a She-Hulk joke. At some point. They're going to do something. Foggy's going to either say something or somebody's going to say something. Like there's going to be a paparazzi picture somewhere. Like
I'm not going home with some random green chick.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be because that's too good to pass up. Like you said, the best thing about the She-Hulk show, and that's a way they can keep She-Hulk alive and earn it. That's something that no one is going to say, oh, that sucks. Everyone would love seeing. I think it's hilarious that there'd be a paparazzi picture of She-Hulk and Daredevil. Cute. And, Daredevil can deny it. He's like, I don't wear that outfit.
Oh my God.
I mean, he could just say, that's not me. That's somebody cosplaying me. That's I've never worn that outfit before.
Chris, you hear about this? I mean, good comments, bad comments. What do you think it means or could mean? How do you see it?
I mean, it just bums me out that we're not going to have more Jen because she does deserve better. She's a great character. And the chemistry that the two of these had was great. I don't care if you disliked this show. The two of them really played off of each other well.
Yeah.
You can always find something good in something, right?
And you could have her come in too and play Jen as a lawyer.
Exactly. Well, and to your point about how he's got that duality and everything, so does she, obviously, and she's a great lawyer. There's a really great, again, Matthew Murdock quote about how as Daredevil, I get to, help save people, but as a lawyer, I can try to fix this world.
Right.
I need to be both of those things. And Jen feels that same way, too. She's very passionate about her work as a lawyer. She didn't want to do all the She-Hulk things. She wants to do actual law and order the way that she believes it should be done, and they share that value. And I think at the very least having some kind of consult call or something like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea too.
That'd be really nice, of just getting her purview on something. And that way you solidify Jen as a great legal mind, which she is, but we take away some of the campiness and let her shine as a very powerful woman intellectually.
Which tees her up moving further forward and further into the MCU as being a more serious. I mean, she was a member of the Fantastic Four in the comics.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a way that they can, it depends because you can have a funny show, but then you can also have a serious show. Like she might call, I think a phone consult. I could see that happening. She's not She-Hulk,
a phone
but it's
consult
Jen,
would be cool.
and there's something really important that a legal ramification of a case that might impact something that might have something to do with Brave New World, Captain America. Like I don't know what that is, but it's something.
Now I'm seeing some people in the live chat saying, "Oh no, you can't do anything Spider-Man because remember because of the spell, he won't remember Spider-Man." Guys, no.
Peter.
The spell just means people won't remember that Peter is Spider-Man. Everybody still knows Spider-Man. And so he could still be a guy swinging around his neighborhood, but I don't know. It sounds like he's going to keep it kind of more isolated, and maybe that's a good thing. Question is for you. How do you see it? Do you wish they would touch on the broader MCU, like his already interactions with Spider-Man or with Jen? Or maybe it's a good thing to go more like the original Netflix series and really have it more isolated. However you guys see it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.